right now, officially that pick is in. I'm going to say that Buck called his shot. He thinks it's McCoy, a first-round talent.
With the 101st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Jermod McCoy, defensive back, Tennessee.
All sins are forgiven. The medicals are good enough for the Raiders to take a swing on a first-round pick and a potential cornerback number one. He missed 2025 with that ACL injury. That is the only reason, because the recovery has been bumpy. It's the only reason he's not on the board. When he plays, he's got good size. He's got good footwork to slide and stay mirrored and press coverage. Just as against Ryan Williams, who's a very good college football player we'll be talking about in a draft soon. And you see him just get locked down there by the goal line. And this is something else that he does really well. Locates the football so he can use his size and length to make plays on the football. And of course, Bucky, when you're a cornerback, we'd prefer if you support the run a little bit.
Oh, you got to be able to support it. This is what makes sense. When we talk about the top of the fourth round, this is when you can find those players that you talk about all sins being forgiven. You take the best player. He was clearly the best player on the board. For the Raiders, somewhere the late Al Davis is smiling down from the heavens saying this is a Raider-type pick. Yeah. Not only because of the size, the speed, the press man coverage ability. Those are things that have been hallmarks of the Raiders forever. This is a guy that can step in there, and if healthy, there's no doubt in my mind he should be vying for playing time right out the gate.
This is a great, why would you not? And once again, everything we talk about is if the medicals say this, if the medical staff okays it, you have to say that first. But if they are okay with it, or if they believe he's 1 year away, a redshirt year away, where we have another surgery, and this is just a supposition, but let's say he has to have another surgery, he doesn't even play this year. Why would you not take the opportunity with one of your picks, if you're the Raiders, who aren't going to win a Super Bowl next year, to play for the future a little bit and go get a guy with cornerback one talent, and they can do that. It's harder for some other teams who are a little closer to take that shot, but for the Raiders, it makes a lot of sense.
Yes. Interception.
Second pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Jude Bowie, tackle, Boston College.
Jude Bowie is a tackle out of Boston College. He can play left, he can play right. He's played a couple different. He has the physical and athletic tools to improve his protection very, very quickly. He's going to stand square and rarely opens up quickly in pass pro. So there's some things that he does well, but there's other things that he's still got to work on. But with Bowie, he was a player, and talking to some of the teams that I had one team specifically text me about him where I thought he would go. And I said, 3-4, somewhere back into 3 and early 4. And he's going about where he should have gone. He's a player who I think you play as a swing tackle early on. You let him compete there in Buffalo. They've got tackles, Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown. So Bowie, right now in the fourth round, you're getting what you believe to be a quality swing tackle who can step in, and you hope eventually, not necessarily take over, but if somebody goes down with injury, you need someone to step in. Just like a backup quarterback, you got to have a backup tackle that can do the work, at least at a functional level, to keep your Super Bowl chances alive.
So as a scout, what we talk about when we start giving out fourth round grades, this round is about finding key backups and developmental prospects. Guys that we believe in 2 years can put themselves in a position where they're eventually competing for a rotational spot, or they're competing to be in the starting lineup. And so as he outlined about the Boston College tackle, it's about being swing tackle, being able to contribute, being eventually able to have enough redeeming qualities that, we want to continue on the developmental process beyond this season.
First couple days of the draft, we've made reference to Bruce Feldman from The Athletic and his freaks list. Bowie actually on that list. The Jets right now on the clock. They have been the hit so far of the NFL draft, considering what they did in round number 1, getting aggressive, trading back in. We'll find out what this selection is at 103.
What's up, Pittsburgh? Just going to start by saying thank you to Commissioner Goodell, the NFL, the New York Jets, Woody Johnson, my amazing reps Nadej and Jason for giving us this opportunity. All the international fans of the year, you guys are amazing. And with the 103 pick in the NFL draft, the New York Jets select Darrell Jackson Jr., defensive tackle, Florida State. J-E-T-S, Jets.
Atta boy. Darrell Jackson is a mountain of a man. He is 6'5", 315, 35 and a quarter arms. He's got a 7'2" wingspan.
11-inch hands too, by the way.
11-inch hands. Like, this is what you want him to look like in the middle. The reason he's in the 4th round right now is the play is just too inconsistent. He needs to get into blocks a little quicker so he can use that enormous reach advantage. You know, long arms are great unless you're slow with your hands, and then players get into your frame, and then you've got to have really good strength to press them off. So I think Darrell Jackson, there's some technique issues. He's not a great bender in the middle. If you can work on flexibility, Bucky, if you can work on getting the hands a little bit quicker, there's enormous upside, because a man in the middle that big, in terms of in the interior, he can really be a disruptive force for your guards and centers if he can play to his trades.
So when we talk about the 4th round, and really the picks this, we talk about redeeming qualities. One of the things you'll do is you'll stand up and the coach asks you, what qualities does he bring to the table? How is he going to make it?
Bird gang! This is Roy Lopez, defensive lineman from the Arizona Cardinals. We're coming at you live from Manos Quesanan in Mexico City. And with the 104th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Caleb Proctor, defensive tackle, Southeastern Louisiana. Let's go Cardinals, baby! Let's go! Yeah! Let's go!
Conference Player of the Year, by the way, in the Southland, as we got reference to that last season. I mean, 9 sacks for this dude. Also had 13 TFLs. Elite
athlete, elite playmaking range for an interior defender. Highly disruptive. This is a player who has, he's got a first step that is going to be a problem, not just in the run game, but also potentially as a pass rusher. He played at a small school, but was highly productive there at the small school, and he has a real nose for getting into the court, finding quarterbacks once he's in the pocket, as you'll see here. You can run, but you cannot hide, because he's got the ability to go laterally, that lateral agility. You'll see a lot of players miss inside the pocket. Shamar Stewart from the Bengals, who was a first-round pick, one of the knocks on him is he could get there with elite traits, but he couldn't decelerate, bend, change direction. It seems like a small thing, but it's actually a really big thing if you want to become a finisher in the pocket, and that's what Caleb Proctor can do.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, when you talk about small school guys, what do they do? How do they flash when they play elite competition? We saw the production right there against LSU. Being able to consistently create chaos at the point of attack, you want to see that from Proctor.
Hello, Pittsburgh. Today, with the 105th selection, Los Angeles Chargers select Brennan Thompson, wide receiver from Mississippi State. Let's go Chargers! Puro Chargers! Viva Mexico!
Puro Chargers, I love it, puro. Hey, so Brennan Thompson is from Mississippi State by way of Oklahoma, by way of University of Texas. So this is a 3-team SEC player, and he has elite speed. 4.26 40 at the combine, the fastest player at the combine. It's pretty simple what he is. The Chargers are getting a straight vertical receiver. He doesn't do well with routes that are non-vertical routes, a limited route tree, but what he does extremely well, which is get on top of coverage and give them a real problem over the top. You also have the ability for him to cross hashes. So, Bucky, when you get in space a little bit, like Mike McDaniel's going to want to do with with the levels passing concept, and you get him crossing the hashes in space, as long as Justin Herbert throws with some accuracy, you got a guy on the run. Yeah. If he catches on the run, man, there's real problems afoot for your defense.
You can tell this is Mike McDaniel's pick. He is all over this. You go back and think about how the Miami Dolphins looked when he was in charge of that team. You can see that. This speed and explosiveness, having someone that not only can take the top off the defense, but turn those catch and run concepts from short games to big games. You just don't get it. I mean, that speed is real. Now, he light. Yeah. So the first thing you tell people, put your hands on him, but he is fast. He's going to stretch the defense, create some openings for some other guys.
He reminds me of his J.J. Nelson when the Cardinals drafted him back in the day. Just gas. You draft him for a very specific purpose for your offense.
By the way, you mentioned him being light. 5'9", 3/8", 164 at the combine is what he checked in at, but definitely fast. You mentioned that 40 time. 4.26, fastest that we saw in Indianapolis. Heading to the Bay Area.
First of all, Minna, I love you. I'm David. I'm representing the Niner Empire Germany, the Niner Empire organization, and the faithful from all around the world. And I have a special message to all the other 31 franchises here in front of me. See you on the road, in your stadiums, at our 49ers invasions. Let's go! With the 107th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Grayson Halton, defensive tackle, Oklahoma. Welcome to the Bay, buddy.
Grayson Halton is all about quickness, disruption. He's an undersized defensive lineman, as you can see right there, 293 pounds. You also see that 40-yard dash, a 4.82, and that's real. Like, off the ball, he is exceptional. I thought there was a chance he could go in the third round because he's a specialist. What he does extremely well, his superpower is impacting the passing game. It's hard to find interior defenders who can get after the pocket like Grayson Halton. And so this is a very specialized player for me. You want him upfield, one gapping if he's an early down. If it's third down, you can bring him into games and he can give you, a little bit of a player against the run, but certainly a player who can get into the pocket.
There's a look at the Broncos draft room. It has been a quiet draft for Denver. Just one selection. It came in the third round yesterday. So this was a team that also made a trade and executed one. So they actually moved back in the draft. We find out which direction they go here in this round number 4.
With the 108th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Jonah Coleman, running back, Washington.
I love watching this dude play last year. When he was healthy, guys, he was a force.
Yeah. He's one of my guys in my top 5. I loved him from the time I laid my eyes on him in terms of just watching him play. Now, last year, 2024, was a more productive year for him when you saw him, but he has all of this wiggle, explosiveness, short and compact. He can take it the distance, and I know people are talking about, man, he's so squatty body. How is he going to fit in? He can catch the ball out the backfield, and to me, this is Sean Payton doubling down that I'm going to get a guy that is very similar to what I have in J.K. Dobbins. If J.K. Dobbins exits stage right, I'm going to put Jonah Coleman in to go with R.J. Harvin. We're going to continue to get after it, running the football and doing a bunch of different things out of the backfield.
Yeah, third consecutive year now that we're talking about the Broncos drafting a running back.
Can't get enough.
Dobbins gets hurt a lot too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to have another back. You got to have another back, and he fits a type also that Sean Payton likes.
Kansas City, the pick, it's in.
How we doing, Pittsburgh? Tell you what, that city is awesome. I've had such a great time here. Thank you so much on behalf of everybody from the International Fans of the Year, because this city has given us everything. Thank you. I want to give a quick shout out to Arrowheads Abroad. My bro, Tom Childs, as well, who couldn't be here, but thank you so much for everything, man. And just literally the whole International Fans of the Year, my brothers and sisters down there. Thank you so much. So let's get on with it. With the 109th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Jaden Kennedy, defensive back, Oregon. Let's go, Chiefs!
Another position of need here for this Kansas City squad. We talk about the secondary, trying to get some hits. They've done well in previous years, trying to fill a void here with no Trent McDuffie.
He's not Trent McDuffie, but he's got that same level of competitiveness. He was one of my favorite nickel corners, slot corners to watch in the entire draft. His tape was so good. Now, he's undersized, 182 pounds, but he has a rare feel for route anticipation. Often he's sliding in the direction of your route break before you even make it. And then his competitiveness, I don't know that I saw a cornerback contest more throws than Kennedy. He's got great short area burst where he can get to the throw. He gets beat up and bumped around a little bit at the top of the route because he's a little bit smaller. But man, from a competitive standpoint and ball, and ball play, he is really top notch.
McDuffie gone, Jalen Watson gone. Both those guys rocking Rams uniforms. The Chiefs, Mansour Delane, with their first pick, and now Kennedy here. So an opportunity to sort of fill a void in that secondary. Here are some of the details right now for the Jets and the Bengals. So you can see what the Jets are getting as they're on the clock right now with pick 110. Also getting a sixth rounder this season, and in exchange, Cincinnati getting pick 128 and pick 140. So they're able to add to the collection of fourth round selections right now is this Bengals team. We've also made a concerted effort to go and draft on the defensive side to fill some voids, but I want to see the draft room where there's no clapping.
It's so funny. I was sitting there looking at that. I was like, I wonder if there's ever a guy that's in there like, I don't really like this pick. I don't want to clap.
Although now that I think about it, there's one that does come to mind from day one that's made its rounds on social media here in the city of Los Angeles. Let's take a listen to what the Jets are thinking.
With the 110th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Klubnik, quarterback, Clemson.
Ooh is right. Time for Power Moves. It is presented by Energizer. Not many guys, say what you want, have won more games in college football than Klubnik.
Not many guys. I mean, look, coming into the year, he was a guy that was viewed as potentially a first-round pick.
No question.
It fell apart. The wheels fell off at Clemson for whatever reason. We had a chance to see him practice a little bit at the East-West Shrine. He has some talent. He has leadership ability. We mentioned he has a lot of experience. We just got to figure out how he can put it all together consistently at a high level. 2 years ago, he put up good numbers. In New York, what you're hoping, you're going to throw him in the mix with Brady Cook, Bailey Zappi, and let's see if he can compete and move up and eventually get that QB3 spot and eventually become a solid backup for you. Don't know if he's a future starter, but I do know he's good enough to vie for a backup spot in the league.
24, he had 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, which looks great. Now, I went and looked at all the throws. There was some really easy stuff. Like it felt like a little bit of fluff. But then I watched him this year, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. But I came away saying, he was really hurt by excessive drops. Like his team had so many drops, and he can really float deep balls. You see the completion percentage doesn't look good on deep throws, but then when I watched him, I said, he's got a pretty nice touch on the deep ball throws. There are times he looks really good on the move. He throws pretty well. The problem is when he sits and gets through progressions, he loses a little bit of juice on his arm, and then he really struggles with throwing with accuracy when the pressure's on.
It's Broncos. Here's their pick.
Hey, Pittsburgh! I'm so honored to be here representing the AFC West champion, the greatest team on the West, but also my country, Mexico, to make the next announcement. With the 111th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Casey, guard, Boise State. ¡Vamos, Broncos!
So they just said guard, but got a lot of experience at left tackle at Boise State.
33-inch arms, so sometimes you get bumped inside. That's how it works. I like Cage Casey on tape. I thought, this is about where he should go. Third, I thought he would go fourth, fifth is where I projected him. But my personal grade on him is more of a fourth. He is a real block finisher. He's got that toughness and mentality. He's proportionally built. You can see right there with good lean mass. He's firm on contact. Will keep those legs churning as a run blocker. I think, one of the things that you have to watch out for is he tends to overset in pass sets, which is a real problem as a tackle. A little less so if he moves inside to guard, but to me, he's got a chance to become an eventual starter. He's a good backup to start, can get you out of a game maybe at a tackle spot if you need, tackle guard flexibility. But I think he could become an eventual starter for the Denver Broncos.
When it comes to team needs, edge, linebacker, corner, defensive line, and offensive line, they've addressed already some of those.
With the 112th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Drew Shelton, tackle, Penn State.
.65 and an eighth, 313 pounds is what he checked in. You can see those numbers from the combine. Guys, 34 starts in his career, all of them coming at left tackle.
He's an athlete. I mean, this is what he does. He's athletic. He gets to his lateral landmarks. He's good as a zone blocker and getting to spots. I think the problem I have with him is he needs to get a lot stronger. He needs to become more aggressive. He doesn't stick to blocks the way he needs to. He's just not as sticky. Now, he can get there quickly. He works up with good timing up to the second level. But, I think staying engaged and staying sticky to the block is a real problem for him. And then he gives up too much ground to bull rushers. And if you don't have functional core strength and pass pro, and you know this, Bucky, there's a certain mark you must hit as an offensive lineman, because if you don't have a certain anchor, a functional anchor, you're done.
Sorry, look, you got to be strong enough to be able to deal with those power players at the point of attack, and if he has some issues with that, it shows up. But there's enough about him to be intrigued to give him an opportunity at this point.
So we will be checking in on them quite frequently as we head to Germany.
From Berlin, Germany, please welcome NFL legend and Colts ambassador Bjorn Werner and local elementary school student.
Hallo von der Christian-Morgenstern-Schule in Berlin. I'm Bjorn Werner, and I'm standing in front of the playground that the Indianapolis Colts and the NFL donated before last year's Berlin game. With the 113th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select
Jalen Farmer.
Go Kentucky! Let's go! Go Colts!
Lance, you're not surprised by this one?
No, this fits what Chris Ballard looks for. He's got quick feet. He's got his pro day did 37 reps bench press. So for a guy who ran a 4.93,
not on the free
40-yard, he ran a 4.93 40-yard dash, which is excellent for a guard, and then he followed up with power. You don't usually see that combination of speed / quickness and power, but he has that, and he's a player that I think, from pad level standpoint, plays with good pad level, keeps his pad level where it needs to be, stays busy through contact, which is what you want to stay engaged the entire time. His hands need to keep his hands inside. There's a technical issue that I think will really improve his ability to stay sticky, but fits a need they have, which is guard depth.
Just saw what the Dallas Cowboys decided to do just a couple picks ago. Drew Shelton was that selection. And now an opportunity to figure out how this team can bolster maybe their defense, because that was certainly one of the big questions heading into this NFL draft.
Let's go, Dallas! Somos Cowboys. Don't forget, Super Bowl 13. Super Bowl 30, no se olvida. Hello, Pittsburgh, how are you doing? I am Mark Aguilar from Mexico City. It's a really special moment for me, and to have the honor of mentioning our next Hall of Fame player that will join this season. With the 114th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Devin Moore, DB, Florida. Thank you.
So it's Devin Moore, the corner out of Florida. So that is now 4 selections thus far, now 5 selections, I should say, for the Dallas Cowboys, and 4 of them coming on the defensive side.
I mean, it was an obvious need. They needed to fix that defense, and they wanted to attack the secondary. So now you had another playmaker in the back end. This is a guy who has multiple seasons with back-to-back seasons with multiple interceptions. You see his awareness, his quickness, being able to stay on top. You think about what they're trying to get done. Caleb Downs coming on board. They're pressuring the pass with Malachi Lawrence, Barnum, and then you go and get another corner. Defense has certainly been a priority for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of potential. I think that the concern on him is he also had extensive injuries from 22 to 24. So, but I gave him a 6.0 grade, which is like better than backup.
Here's the Ravens pick.
With the 115th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Elijah Sarratt, wide receiver, Indiana.
If you don't mind, I want to take a second to play a little scout question to question to Bucky.
Yeah.
Bucky, I got a guy who's 6'2", 210, very physical, wins contested catches, extremely strong, has leveled up from low level to James Madison to Indiana, has succeeded at every level, but he can't separate. But he can win contested. What are we doing with that?
Look, I think with the two guys they got, he and Jacoby Lane from USC, they got guys that can win down in the red zone. So I guess they're going to go old Houston Rockets, Twin Towers, and figure out how they can throw it up down there to make it happen. But he is someone who has enough ability. He is showing at every level that he can get up there. But to me, this is the Baltimore Ravens doubling down. We want big physical receivers on the outside to complement what we have in Little Zay Flowers. And remember, and thinking about Elijah Sarratt, there's a thing that has been popular where you have the big slot receiver. When you lose Isaiah Likely and you're not able to get that tight end replacement, maybe you find it in a big slot receiver
big
like
slot.
Elijah Sarratt.
Yeah, I like the big slot. You know, he torched Oregon twice this year. 15 catches for 196 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's against Oregon. That's pretty serious. The separation issues are real, but he has a good feel for creating late separation through sneaky little arm and hand, usage and his body type. So it is going to really. There's been plenty of guys who make it in the NFL who don't separate well, but you have to be excellent at being able to create late space and then win contested catches. It just so happens he's very, very good at both of those things. I think this is exactly the round he should go in, 4th round, and I think his competitive nature of how he has succeeded when challenged, he's been hungry to show, I'm better than you think I am. I'm better than you think I am. That's great to have.
The Bucs, here's their pick.
Pittsburgh, how are you? Representing not only my home country of Germany, but all the Buccaneers fans around the world, especially from Europe. So big shout out to Germany, Spain, France, England, Wales, and all the other parts of the world. Our rock star general manager, Jason Light, and his crew have found a fantastic young man who will join the Buccaneers. With the 116th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will select, unfortunately not me, but the awesome Keontae Scott, defensive back, Miami. Go Bucs! Willkommen bei der Crew!
Just for context here, Bucs in round number 1, Ruben Bain, Miami. And here we go, pick 116, going back to South Beach here.
Yeah, now this is a theme. I told you Todd Bowles was frustrated with what he saw from his defense, and Keontae Scott fits a profile that they're looking for. Physical. So between Ruben Bain, Josiah Trotter, and Keontae Scott defensively, they certainly brought the edge back. This guy's a natural slot defender. And I won't call him a slot corner, slot defender, because the way they deploy him, they use him in the run game, use him off blitzes. Todd Bowles has not found a blitz that he doesn't like. Keontae Scott could be a big factor in their defense.
If you like Caleb Downs, but you want to get the Kirkland brand, that's Keontae Scott. 13 tackles for losses this year. He thinks he's a will linebacker and plays like it.
Well, back here on Draft Center, the Chargers trading up with the Texans to take Travis Burke. I am jealous because when he was in high school, this guy didn't have a ton of offers, grew 10 inches from his freshman to senior years. I am still waiting for my growth spurt.
I don't even know how that happens. How does that happen when you have a growth spurt like that? But, I mean, that's great. I mean, it's a great move. That's bananas.
He's the Anthony Davis of right tackles. From at Memphis.
Yeah.
He is, it's weird. We talked about him a little bit yesterday, but he's 6'9". He's got a little mean streak. And it's rare to see a 6'9" tackle bend at the point of attack and drive people off the ball. He is a drive blocking 6'9" tackle. That really just doesn't exist. Now, I am curious to see how he's going to play in the zone scheme stuff. I'm not sure how he's going to fit into that. He's not the quickest, I don't think, laterally. And the pass pro stuff, I don't know how he's going to handle speed out there at right tackle. I love the run blocking, though. And I know he was a hot tackle prospect for a lot of teams who were thinking he would be bumped into the late 3rd to early 4th. So makes sense the Chargers traded up here to go get a guy they coveted.
Was that just measurables is the reason why? I mean, 6'8", 325 doesn't grow on trees.
No, it doesn't. But the taller you get as a tackle, sometimes the harder it can actually be. There's actually diminishing returns when you get a really tall tackle.
All right, so the Lions right now, they come into the day with 1 4th-round selection. Here it is.
With the 118th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Jimmy Rolder, linebacker, Michigan.
Well, they basically just drafted Jack Campbell again. And Jimmy Rolder, to me, like, this was a guy who was fun to watch. 1-year starter. He stayed at Michigan as a backup the whole time. He just stayed there the whole time and just said, I'll just excel on teams. He got in as a starter, and like, his tape is really good. He is extremely strong at the point of attack, knows how to take on blocks and knows how to sidestep them, but plays strong through redirection, is a very strong, firm base, is an excellent tackle finisher when he gets into you. The speed is kind of average. So that's a little bit of a concern. And I think coverage is going to be a concern for him. He's going to be an immediate special teams ace, and I think he can step in and start for you if you need him to.
Evil Knievel. I'm trying to figure out why that's on the baseball card. Evil Knievel. Like, what does that mean? You're dangerous.
Well, I didn't see that.
You're adventurous. You're a daredevil. I just need to know. I need a little more context when you put that on the card.
DJ must have just said that, and they didn't get context for it. 'Cause I don't know what it means.
Evil Knievel.
Don't know. Not exactly sure.
Maybe head first into stuff.
What I can tell you, exactly. Michigan, by the way, that is now 2 players Lions have drafted from Michigan. Derek Moore in round number 2. Here's the Jags pick.
Duval. On behalf of the Jacksonville Jaguars, the 119th pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, Wesley Williams from Duke.
Some familiarity here on the edge. Buck had an opportunity to see this dude up close and personal. How about 11 sacks in his career? Typically with Duke guys, and I don't know how you feel about it because I know you're a Carolina guy. We don't usually talk about Duke football players.
I won't mention the school, but I would say that the school down the street, he's a really good football player. Long, rangy, at the East-West Shrine. We talked about him ad nauseum. The coaches were really high on him about what he was able to do throughout that week. And when you watched him practice at a high level, motor, effort, all those things were there. And then he's skilled, really good with his hands, doesn't give up. So you think about where you're at right now in the draft. 4th round, you're looking for guys that can come in, understand what that role is going to be, start at one place, but continue to get better and develop. He is a nice developmental prospect to bring in and throw into the rotation behind Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker.
Mitch, man, he plays with a white-hot intensity on every snap, like super, super intense.
Yeah,
ran a 4.89 40, which is like, it makes you nervous, but not enough. Like, the tape's just too good, and his 10-yard speed, which was just still pretty good. It's in the 1.6s, which just tells you his get-off's pretty good. Just doesn't build and sustain to speed. But he plays so hard. Bucky, you mentioned that. I almost wonder if he's going to be a player, because he's not explosive enough to create a lot of rush, I think, on the NFL level outside. But he feels like a guy you could move inside as a sub-package rusher.
It'll be interesting, depending on if he can carve out a role and get into the mix. Can he get up there where he can play well enough on the outside so Trayvon Walker could kick inside? But before we get that, he and I got to sit down and have some questions and conversations, because I got to figure out why he's such a bad decision maker to go to that school down the street instead of come.
Yeah, check up on that, Buck.
I got to work. I got to
find out.
Got to find out. It's all the same. Never changes.
Welcome to the Irish Institute of Music and Song here in Ireland. I'm singer-songwriter Gavin James, and the pick is in. With the 120th pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Denai Dennis Sutton, defensive end, Penn State. Go Pack Go! Go Pack Go!
It's respectful, Go Pack Go, too.
It is.
Very quiet.
By the way, we do all these international picks. Can I just say, that might be my favorite one. Get the harps in the background. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a little more boisterous.
Oh, you want the juice?
No, I just thought he was going to have a little more juice. But
another one who fits the Packer mold, by the way, Roughneck. This guy is so physical, Bucky. This is what they get, right? They like to have these guys that are very, very physical. You talk about a type. They've got a type.
Man, they do have a type. And there you see it, 3-block punts this season. You talk about being able to find your way onto the team. Yeah. Special teams are a big part of it. So having that tool in his pocket, but being able to also run around and make plays. Physicality, toughness, length, burst. A lot of intriguing traits. We'll see what he's able to do coming in as a 4th-round pick, looking to make a mark on special teams before he can crack the rotation as a defensive player.
He is really physical. Like, he's an extremely physical player. And I'm just looking at defensive ends who they draft. The Packers tend to draft. Baron Sorrell kind of fits it. And remember, Enigbari, is exactly, he was, as a matter of fact, I want to see if that was my comp for him. And he was also drafted by the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, it's Kingsley Enagbari, who is also a Green Bay Packer. And this happens, people point this out to me so many times. Some of my comps end up, the players that they're comp to, they end up going to the same team. And there's a reason for it. They're a type. They're just a certain type. And Dennis Sutton he can rush. He's got a little bit of rush. But man, is he really physical against the run. He'll chin check you. If you're a soft tackle, you're not going to like your day against him. Not at all.
Let's head back to Pittsburgh.
With the 121st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Caden Weegan, wide receiver, Iowa.
All right, so guys, we are 121 picks in. John Todd is our researcher. He was with us, Bucky, down in Dallas. As amazing as a researcher you could possibly have. The level of excitement every time we left the practice because of this dude was off the chains. He just sent me a note like, he's pumped. Steelers got a guy here.
Steelers got a guy, and look, he doesn't even have to change any of the stuff that he has. He just goes from one uniform to another. It all looks the same. And he joins his teammate, Jennings Dunker. What we love about him, return specialist, guru, terrific with the ball in his hands. You can see the speed and quickness. And when we talk about the Steelers, just having played in the league for a long time, the Steelers have a type. You can close your eyes and envision who plays for them. This dude fits the mold and the profile. Tough as nails, will find a way to get it done. He is going to be a guy look, Mike McCarthy loves to have punt returners that can kind of go in the mix and play wide receivers because there's a level of toughness, but also the open field running skills. Look for him to be a guy that is a bit of a gadget guy when it comes to him, and he may end up being more than that for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
10 return touchdowns for his career. 10 return touchdowns. It's natural for him.
Only two-time winner of the Jet Award, which is given to the nation's top returner. We talk about specialist here in round number 4. Doesn't get much more special than Weegan. Pick 122. Here we go.
My dad was a huge Steelers fan, so this one's for you, Daddy. Raider Nation is in the house desde Mexico. Thanks to my family, un abrazo a todos mis amigos, and a big hug to everyone out here. With the 122nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Mike Washington Jr., running back, Arkansas. Just win, baby!
Got some speed now coming to this backfield. 4.33 40 at the combine. That was the fastest of the running backs.
Man, he's a big dude and he's fast. He is, if you can find a crease with him, it is a wrap. Nobody was catching him when he got in the open field, and he has really rare acceleration for his size. This is where you want him. You want him in space. You want him in an outside zone scheme to be able to play in space. What are the Raiders? Who's the Raiders head coach, Bucky?
That'd be Clint Kubiak. That'd be a zone system. They want to attack the edges. Okay. He is the perfect fit for that. But not only that, understand this. We talk about doubling down and backstopping what you have.
Right there.
What we call it in fantasy, like a handcuff.
Yeah.
And so that's what they've done. Ashton Genty, Mike Washington. Ashton Genty comes out. This guy runs onto the field. You now have two legitimate threats that you have to account for. We used to talk about one wrecks, the other destroys. He could be a destroyer in a role as a role player in this offense.
Here we go back to Pittsburgh.
With the 123rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Wade Woodaz, linebacker, Clemson.
So the Houston Texans finding a linebacker coming out of Clemson.
Special immediately steps in and will be a special team stud immediately. He excels on covered teams. He's got to work on, that was a good block take on, but he's got to work a little bit on the block take ons moving forward. He will fill and spill the run. He is not afraid to get his nose dirty and do what he's supposed to do as an inside linebacker. He's got the ability in coverage. He's athletic in space with good instincts from a cover standpoint. Wade Woodaz also is a player that I think is a very smart one. He doesn't get fooled fooled by eye candy either. So you can do all this stuff pre-snap, post-snap. He's pretty dialed in on what the play design is.
Another good job by us.
They actually traded up with the Panthers, who had just traded back with this spot with the Jags earlier in this round to make this selection.
What's up, Pittsburgh? I'm very happy right now. I'm from Spain. Do you like Spain? We have the great cheese there, and we also like to grade them. With the pick 124 in the 2026 NFL Draft, los Chicago Bears seleccionan a Malik Muhammad, defensive back, Texas. ¡Que viva España!
Okay.
¡Go Bears!
You guys are some international travelers. You like Spain?
I like Spain. I got a friend, my man McCoy Canabar's watching from Sevilla, Spain right now.
Oh.
Christian, we got Christian Guerrero in Belize. We got Belize in the house watching. We got Sevilla, Spain. They better be watching us. They better be watching Malik Muhammad, University of Texas. You got a daughter who goes there. My wife went there. She was very happy with Malik Muhammad this year. He played extremely well. Can play inside or outside in the NFL. A little bit slender, more slender than you'd like, but he can play press man. He's tough. He can play off man coverage. He sees the ball well. I think he's a future starting cornerback. I don't know if he's going to play inside or outside. He'll immediately jump in as probably a fourth corner, but good player here with the Chicago Bears. I think it's a good depth pick right now, but he has starting potential if you need him in the future.
Remember, they lost a lot of guys. Nishon Wright went out the door, so they want to bring some of those guys that can fill the role. And they have done a really good job of developing their corners on the outside. Malik Muhammad has all the tools to develop into a solid player.
Kind of cool to see this, and that is a Buffalo Bills pick. They've been very active, a whole lot of trades. They keep moving back and back and back, but they're making this selection here.
Hello, everybody. This is an honor for us as part of Gen Youth, and we're representing all the Pittsburgh Public Schools in the flag football in schools now. So with that being said, the 125th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select
Skylar Bell.
Skylar Bell.
Buck, some big-time yardage. Kid coming out of the Bronx.
Boogie down.
That. You know
the
it.
Boogie down.
Look, that's probably the only thing that we have in common. Second in FBS play, over 1,200 yards receiving.
1,200 yards. Now, look, the speed is there. You talk about the day one slot receiver being able to come in there. And you're the Buffalo Bills. Remember, even though you bring DJ Moore, there are a lot of questions about this wide receiver core. You have Khalil Shakur, but you're trying to find more guys that can do things with the ball to make the game easy for Josh Allen. Well, the easiest way to do it, man, let's get some of these bubble screens, some of these short things in there. And then if they come up, we throw it right over top. He can defeat man coverage. He can defeat press, create separation. But that speed is real. And up there, when it's very cold in Western New York.
His coach compared him.
Speed happens.
Yeah, his coach compared him to Michael Gallup, his game. He's a 4.4 40. He's an explosive leaper. The problem with him is his drop rate has been exceptionally high until this year. It was much better this year. This is one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite. Right now, he's my favorite day 3 pick. Skylar Bell, to me, is like he's a future starting slot. I almost have no doubt about that.
Man, we got favorites already. Man.
Oh, yeah.
Favorites.
Let's start the podcast now.
Yeah, you got favorites over here.
I just need to give a shout out to my brother Jason. He may not be here today, but he's here with me in spirit. Just like everyone across the world and in my home country, Canada. And a huge shout out to my new family, the international fans, is proof why football's not just America's game, it's the world's game. McAfee, you're not the only one that can cut a promo. Now, Bills fans, ask yourself this: where else would you rather be than right here, right now? With the 126th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Caleb Elarms-Orr, linebacker,
the NBA.
TCU. Welcome to the Mafia, and welcome to, I forgot to do a shout out to the
we're good. We're good.
Come on,
the light is on. The red light is on. We're gonna play a little Oscars thing going here. Play the music. Get the harps going.
We're going. Bills Mafia, stand up. You talk about another guy that can come in there. We're at this point where we're looking for guys who have a little saltiness, a little edge, that can find a way to make a roll, and he certainly is able to do that. Ooh, he will knock the taste out your mouth. Now, if he doesn't like it, he'll come downhill and make some plays, have some coverage ability. Jim Leonard taking over. Jim Leonard taking over this defense, 3-4 defense. They're going to be active. They're going to blitz. He's from that Rex Ryan school of getting after you. That means blitz, blitz, blitz. You got to have active guys that love to make things kind of chaotic on the offense to be able to do that.
With the 127th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Carver Willis, guard, Washington.
Never forget where I was when I watched Carver Willis tape. It was at the Senior Bowl. I was watching some Carver Willis, and I was impressed. He is a really physical, intense player. I do question if he's going to be able to stay out at tackle. He is a player with shorter arms, 32.5-inch arms. A lot of times, those type of players end up at guard. But what stood out to me was he is a really measured and powerful run blocker. It was impressive. He's quick out of his stance. He gets into his run fits with good pop. He's extremely aggressive. He's a block finisher. So to me, this is a pick based more on maybe he plays tackle. I think he could end up at guard. I just know that he's a plus run blocker, so he's got a very good plus trait, which is run blocking, and I think that's probably why he was drafted here. Just have to figure out the arm length and whether you want to keep him outside or bump him inside.
Yeah. By the way, for what it's worth, they did announce him as guard, but he's such a ball guy. Did you hear what he said? He's like, I'll never forget where I was when I was watching the Carver tape. So I'm thinking he's like, oh, you had a vacation in Japan? Maybe he was double.
Oh, no.
I was at the Senior Bowl. all ball all the time.
All the time. He doesn't mess around.
It's just, you have certain tape you'll remember forever.
Must have been pretty good. Meanwhile, we're going international.
Okay, I probably should. I maybe oversold that.
I mean, it's okay.
Cincinnati's going to be busy today. Their first of 6 picks. You immediately recognize the name Connor Lew. Buck, got you a little excited here.
Yeah, Connor Lew, really good player. And he had torn ACL that kind of probably took him down a round or so on value. But you talk about a guy inside that is really good at being sticky, shoulder to shoulders. Not necessarily a mauler brawler, not going to move you off the ball. But, man, he can snap and engage, and he's going to get to you. For the Cincinnati Bengals, they got to make sure we always are protecting the king. And the king is Joe Burrow. Having somebody in front of him that can snap and take care of the middle is important as we talk about a make or break year in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he can play guard center. I think my guess is he's going to be there as Ted Karras' backup, but he also might compete with Dalton Risner, or maybe they have Ted move back out to guard where he originally was, and then Connor Lew has a chance to compete for the center spot. So we'll see. He is, I think without the torn ACL, his 24 tape is much better than his 25 tape. I kind of expected him to go back to school. 4th round, it's where some teams had him. I think he's more of a 2nd-round talent when he's playing well. He's got real NFL size and traits, so I think that's something that's advantageous. And I know the Bengals have always, they play in a division with rugged interior players, so you need centers who have the ability to stand up to a stout nose.
Back to Pittsburgh we go. It's the Carolina Panthers selection.
Pittsburgh! First of all, I want to thank the NFL and the Carolina Panthers organization for having me. Such a blast. You guys are the best. And now, big shout out to the second international fan, the second most international fan from the Carolina Panthers. It's my little dog Frida. She can't be here tonight, but she's here with me in my heart. All right, let's get to it. I trust in Dan. So, with the 129th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers
division champions select Will Lee, the third defensive back, Texas A&M. Keep pounding!
Yeah, I know you wanted to bring your dog up for day 3, right? Why didn't you say that? And then he had a dog jersey. I'm not sure our country is committed enough to this sport. Because I see other countries are really committed, like a dog's jersey. Yeah. That's pretty serious. Maybe the dog will get a Will Lee jersey. He's a boundary corner.
No, you know what? They got to go custom on that one.
That's a very specific jersey, potentially. And I think Will Lee, it depends on what type of cornerback he likes. The problem Will Lee has is he loses the foot race with vertical speed. But when he's in phase, he is really disruptive as a cornerback. He's better in man coverage than he is in zone. He doesn't have a great feel out of zone, doesn't trigger as quickly as he needs to. But he plays with, he plays with very good disruption when he's at the point. He has what we call a +7 wingspan, Bucky, right? Mm-hmm. So for his height, whatever his height is, Mike, his wingspan is 7 inches longer from a wingspan standpoint than his height. And that plays into how he's able to make so many plays on the football.
Got some length there. You know who that kind of reminds me of? I don't know what Marcus Peters' sort of wingspan was, but I just remember looking at his frame and just seeing damn, your arms are long.
Long arms, being able to get it, feistiness. This dude's a good player.
Miami Dolphins, by the way, back on the clock right now. Find out which direction they are going to go. You can see it on the screen there. Jeff Hafley, new head coach, new era there.
130th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The only perfect team in NFL history, Miami Dolphins select Trey Moore, linebacker, Texas. Go Dolphins!
Yammer, do you have his production when he was at, I think it was Texas, no, he's UTSA. I'm going to give you a chance to look up his production at UTSA before he transferred to Texas. Tell me what you see there.
Jeez.
I'm going to talk about him. You find the production.
I got it for you.
Trey Moore plays outside linebacker and then moved over to off-ball linebacker in the middle of the year. I think the Longhorns partly did that to help him out from a pro standpoint. He's a little undersized, but he has got a bag full of moves as a pass rusher, and he's a very instinctive rusher. The problem is he's not real long. He doesn't really have that size. He doesn't have a lot of juice off the edge. Yammer, what'd you find?
14 sacks in 2023.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me here?
Yeah. It's serious.
Player of the year, yeah.
This guy is a serious pass rush merchant, and he can play off-ball linebacker.
Some big swings here by the Miami Dolphins. Chris Bell in their last selection,
With the 131st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Genesis Smith, defensive back, Arizona.
I just love the first name. Can we just focus in on that? You know, this brings me back to all the hours in my bedroom with Genesis, a Sega controller in my hands. So I feel like
a good game.
Oh God,
it was a great game.
I've aged out considerably here, but we got another playmaker here that is now just potentially on Sundays being a game changer.
Yeah, game changer. And you're the Chargers. You're sitting here trying to find other guys because you got Tony Jefferson in the secondary, who I love the fact he's been able to do it at an advanced age. But at some point, you want to find another backup player to do it. Genesis Smith could be prime for that role.
Yeah, great ball skills, great eyes. Problem is, he's a bad open field tackler. So they're going to have to get to work on him and say, look, we got to tackle. This is a non-negotiable. We love the ball skills, but you're going to have to become a better open field tackle.
You missed it there, but we got the recap for you. We got you covered. Jeremiah Wright, now the selection for the New Orleans Saints, the guard out of Auburn. We've heard Auburn now in the last couple picks here. Back over on 128, it was Connor Lew, who used to rock that uniform, but Saints going big.
Ground and pound guard is what he is. No nonsense, just look. Hand placement, there's some things technically he needs to work on. Pass protection can get a little sloppy. But if you want to run the football, that's your guy right there, Jeremiah Wright and the Jeremiah Wright Moving Company. They will come in there and load up 3 techniques and move him around for you if you need him in the back of the van, because he's big, 331 pounds, 6'5". You see the finishes are fierce and ferocious. I gave him a grade. I really believe that he could eventually become a starter. When you have guys in the NFL, my dad taught me this as a line coach. When you have guys with something that's a real plus, like power, and you have rare size, those guys end up playing. Whatever their issues may be, on the offensive line, you'll work on the issues because it's hard to find the other stuff like size and power, which is something he has.
I had a coach say, if you always play these strengths, you have no weaknesses. So being able to match him up and put him in the right situation to give him a chance to succeed, it could work for him.
I like this. Lance calling the shot here. We'll find out which direction the Ravens are going to go.
Pittsburgh, I'll keep this short, like your postseason. With the 133rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Matthew Hibner, tight end, SMU.
Tight end number 10 now off the board through 4 rounds and 133 picks of the NFL Draft. SMU's one of their stars now headed to Baltimore.
He spent 4 years at Michigan. Bucky, he did nothing. And he's like, well, since we all get about 6 years, I'm going to spend 2 of them at SMU. And he had 8 starts in 2024, had 12 starts this year, and he really broke out this year. 31 catches, 436 yards. He's an athletic F tight end on the move. He can make some catches. There's some teams that really like him. As you can see, 4th rounder. You know, it's funny because most drafts, I would think he's, it's something for us to talk about. He's more of like a 5th or a 6th. But this draft, with NIL taking so many players out of the draft pool nowadays, it's really guys where you would usually see them 5th or 6th. We're seeing them in the 4th. For example, Jeremiah Wright's a guy like that. But it doesn't mean they can't play. And Matthew Hibner can play, and he just needed a place. He needed an opportunity to. Here's Jimmy Rolder, who couldn't play for 3 years at Michigan, finally starts at Michigan. Then you have 4 years where Matthew Hibner can't play at Michigan. Then he gets 2 years at SMU, kind of shows out and ends up becoming a player. You got to be, you know, it's about perseverance for a lot of these players who end up making it, and we'll find out in the league if they make it, but sometimes it just takes time for some of these players.
To announce the Atlanta Falcons selection, live from Madrid, Spain, please welcome Real Madrid legend, Roberto Carlos.
Buenas tardes, soy Roberto Carlos, embajador de Real Madrid, desde el icónico Bernabéu, donde los Atlanta Falcons jugarán la próxima temporada. With the 134 picking the 2026 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Kendall Daniels, linebacker, Oklahoma.
So you look at some of the numbers and the production here. You like this just in terms of fit and need?
I mean, I'm just sitting here trying to figure out how you can go Bedlam on one side and go to the other side. Like, how can you go from Oklahoma State to Oklahoma? Like, it's all messed up. The rivalry.
Oh,
like,
man, it's all about the Benjamins.
I mean,
you know that.
Bananas. Like, how can you be on one side of Bedlam and then go the other? But he's active, he's aggressive, he can fly around and make things happen. You're the Atlanta Falcons, you're in the 4th round. You're trying to stockpile this roster with some guys that can get it done. He has some nastiness that you saw in that hit. He'll run around. I mean, it's a theme. I am thinking about not only his ability to get on the field as a full-time linebacker, but special teams, how he can contribute. You already see that he has enough feistiness to be on those cover teams.
Yeah, he ran slow, which he ran a 4.76 at his pro day, which that doesn't show up on tape. That was very surprising to me, and based on the fact that he's in the 4th round right now, means that I don't think the Falcons believe that the 40 time was indicative of his play speed.
Here's the Colts selection.
What's up, Pittsburgh? Come on! Hey, first of all, I want to say thank you so much to the people of the United States. You are such a great country, such great people. Thank you for everything you have given to me. You guys here in Pennsylvania like the Dutch, so how about we do this one in Pennsylvania Dutch? Met de 135e selectie in de 2026 draft van de NFL selecteren de Indianapolis Colts Wright, Boettcher, linebacker, Oregon. Come on! Hell yeah!
So we talk about two-sport athletes. This one's is a good one. You know, sometimes we show the highlight film of guys dunking in high school, playing dudes my size. You know, like that's one thing, but this a real baller here.
Yeah, real baller. Baseball background, super instinctive. You just think about that. Drafted by the Houston franchise.
Astros, baseball.
They're over there. They're still over there thumping trash cans and stuff. What it is, but this is. Look, he's a really good football player down and around the box. Violent hands, has a knack for being able to find the ball and make things on it. Senior Bowl, he showed up, showed out. Nice pick. Look, score one for the multi-sport athletes.
Yeah, he started baseball, basketball, and football. I mean, this is a draft pick, as Bucky mentioned, for the Astros. But what he's got is he's a little extra, and there he is. And he actually turned down the draft pick because baseball, and it was actually a pretty good pick too, from what I remember.
Yeah.
He was
in
actually
the money.
relatively high. Yeah, he was in the money.
13th round.
He just said, "Football's my love."
Yeah.
He went back and played football, and I think the Colts say this is a guy who's going to be a star on special teams for us and a good backup.
Bonjour de Paris, France. Nadir Hifi is here from Paris Basketball and French national team. With the 136th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Brian Slants, wide receiver from North Dakota State University. Allez les Saints!
So if the last name looks familiar and the school looks familiar, put the pieces together, and that's exactly the situation. Bryce Lance, brother Trey, now member of the Chargers.
Yeah, Bison has some ballers.
Yeah, they do.
Out there.
FCS
so you think about
monsters.
Bryce Lance being able to dominate that level, just making play after play. Great hands, super soft and natural when it comes to being able to catch the ball in traffic. You love all of those things. And what we're seeing now from the New Orleans Saints, just an upgrade or an overhaul of that passing game on the perimeter. You think about Jordan Tyson coming on board, Oscar Delp, now Bryce Lance. They have three playmakers to help the young quarterback. Well, I can't say young quarterback, the second-year quarterback, Tyler Shutt, continue to take advances as he tries to seal himself as a franchise quarterback down there in New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, they're attacking their needs pretty well.
Yeah, heavy on the defensive side. We see what direction they go.
With the 137th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select L.T. Overton, defensive end, Alabama.
I don't think he's going to be a defensive end. I think he's going to gain some more weight at 274 and slide inside a 3 technique. That would be my guess. When you watch him play, he just wasn't as explosive off the edge as you needed this year. And he carried a pretty big grade headed into the season, but it just didn't manifest itself with as much production as you want. You know, sometimes, Bucky, you see those guys and you just look at the frame, you start to do bone density, stuff, and the DEXA scan, because you want to see how much weight they can carry. What's his lean muscle mass? You start to figure out, can we take a guy who's not as explosive outside, but who's rugged, and can we make him an interior player?
Yeah, sometimes, man, you have to do that thing. You got to check the wrist, grab around the wrist, how thick they are. They're big bone. He's a guy who certainly looks like he can carry a little more weight. You talk about having the big rate coming into the season. Didn't play to the hype, but he has intriguing tools that you want to work with.
Hi, I'm Armando, the International Fan of the Year 2023 for the Miami Dolphins and Dolphins Nation Mexico Fan Club President. I'm here with members of the Dolphins Nation Mexico across the Estadio Banorte, where the NFL will be hosting an international game later this season. With the 138th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Kyle Lewis, linebacker, Pittsburgh.
Now, that should actually get a pretty big cheer. First Pitt player drafted in this year's draft, and of course, Pittsburgh playing host.
Yeah, no, this is a nice pick for the Miami Dolphins, and this is one where you're Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan. You're just taking a really good football player. He is in that Pat Narduzzi system where he was freed up to just go run and chase and run through windows. He did it as well as anybody. He can play in space. He can cover. He finds a knack. He has a knack for getting his hands on the ball, and some of that is by design in Narduzzi's system. But for the Miami Dolphins, you're in the 4th round. You're looking for energy guys, and you're looking for guys that can kind of change the culture in the locker room. He has those abilities.
Please welcome 2018 Miss World Vanessa Ponce de Leon and Mexican national team legend Andres Guardado.
We're live from Mexico City at the locker room of the Mexican national team, making history for the 49ers. I'm with Andres Guardado and Alfredo Gutierrez. And with the 139th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select
Patience Bryson, defensive back, Washington.
We saw his teammate Tacario Davis get drafted yesterday. This Presok is like he's like a carbon copy, basically. Another really tall cornerback. He is 6'3 1/4, 2 corners on the same team over 6'3". I don't know that I've ever seen that in college football. I'm not sure I've ever seen it in pro football.
They call themselves DBU there.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of them. They've got a lot of them. 33.5-inch arms, really good against the run, too. Very willing. No. He's the other one. I'm looking at my notes. Finesse tackler who is all arms and legs and run support. That needs to get a little bit better. But he really does a good job of staying ready in the passing lanes. He is very tough in the cover 3 type of stuff they like to use. And I just think he's a player, Bucky, that it's just a matter of getting him in the right scheme. You got to have the right scheme for him.
Good day, Pittsburgh. How we doing? I want to give a massive thank you to the Bengals and the NFL for having me all the way from Australia today. Thank you so much. I also want to give a shout out to my Bengals fans back home and all around the world. This one's for you. With the 140th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Colby Young, wide receiver, Georgia. Houday!
Feels like big guys. Again, traits. You get to day 3, you're going to hunt some traits. And Colby Young, 6'4 3/4", 218 pounds, is a wide receiver. Only played in 8 games this year before suffering with a fractured leg. So you're betting on the come a little bit here that there's going to be more ahead of him. Got healthy enough to run a 4.49, physical and tough. He can break tackles. Thought he was a little bit more one speed, Charles. Didn't think he had that extra gear when he got out in space. Again, very limited production. So that's where you find him at this point in time in the draft.
But with that build, that physique, he looks like a Bengal receiver of the past. Just a little bit thicker. You know who that was? One Chris Collinsworth.
Hey.
Long, lanky guy who could make a lot of plays, a number of Pro Bowls in his past.
There's a guy